Hello my friends, it's Danny, and today I'm going to show you how to make my favorite French toast recipe. Now, this is not your average everyday French toast. This is an easy, healthy, high protein French toast recipe that is so simple to make and absolutely delicious. So I have been trying to increase my protein intake throughout the day. And so I'm aiming for a baseline of about 30 grams of protein per meal. And often for breakfast, I don't want to make eggs or an omelet, but I still want to find a way to enjoy that protein. And so this protein French toast has been one of my go-to recipes. Starting your day with a high protein breakfast can really help to curb sugar cravings throughout the day, help you to avoid energy crashes, and it's also a great way to feel satiated and full until lunchtime. So let me show you how to do this one. So the first thing you have to decide is what type of bread you're gonna use. Personally, I love using a sprouted grain bread. This Ezekiel Food for Life is my favorite. It has a really hearty texture, which is perfect when you're making French toast because usually you need bread that is a day old or so or a little bit stale. So when you're using a sprouted grain bread, because it has that texture, you can just use it fresh right out of the bag. Plus, each slice of bread has 4 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber. Now, with that being said, you can really choose any type of bread that you love or that you have on hand because at the end of the day, they will all work. Just keep in mind, if you're using a very soft bread, you may want to leave it out for a day or lightly toast it before making this recipe. Then to create the high protein custard base for the French toast, I'm going to start with 1/4 cup of liquid egg whites, or you could use 1.5 fresh egg whites. And if you don't want to do the egg whites at all, you could just sub in 1 whole egg. And I'm going to pour that right into my NutriBullet cup. You could also make this right in a blender. I always buy my egg whites pre-separated at the grocery store because I use them often for easy recipes like my egg white and cottage cheese muffin cups, my high protein pancakes, and my absolute favorite oatmeal recipe, all of which I will link for you down in the description box below. Next, I'll add in 1/4 cup of 2% milk, although technically any milk you love or have on hand would work. And then 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt. Now I'm using a low-fat Greek yogurt, but a non-fat or a full-fat would also work for this recipe. So as always, use what you love, use what you have. Then in goes a teaspoon of that nice warm cozy cinnamon. And then to really boost the protein content and add some more delicious vanilla flavor, I am adding in 1/4 cup of vanilla protein powder, which is equivalent to 14 grams. Now, while I am definitely an advocate for real whole foods first, I do think if you are someone who's trying to increase your protein intake, a good high quality protein powder is a great supplement for anybody's diet, and there's a lot of them on the market these days. Whether you want a whey-based protein or a plant-based protein, there's tons of options. And if you need help picking one, I'm going to link to some of my favorites down in the description box below. So I'm going to pop on my lid and then blend this up. Now, if you needed to, in a pinch, you could whisk this by hand, but a blender or the NutriBullet is going to do a much better job at getting all of those ingredients really well incorporated. You're going to see that it turns into this really frothy custard-like texture, and you want to pour it into some type of dish that is wide and shallow. Ideally, I like to look for a dish that would fit 2 pieces of toast at the same time, and this one comes pretty close. I can really wiggle them in there. So from here, I'm just going to place my sprouted bread into this egg mixture, and you just want to let it sit in there for about 30 seconds or so. You really want the bread to absorb all of that goodness, and then I'll just flip them over and prepare my pan. So I have a nice large nonstick skillet that I'm going to heat over a medium-low heat. I'll add a little bit of butter. You could do coconut oil or non-aerosol cooking spray as well. You just want a nice light coating to make sure that nothing sticks. And then once that's hot, I'm going to pick up the French toast, let any of the excess egg mixture drip off, and then just lay that right in the pan. I usually do 2 slices at a time. Let them cook anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes. You're looking for the bottom to become lightly golden brown while the center of the toast is cooking as well. And that's why we want a nice low heat. And then you're just going to get underneath and gently flip them over. Perfect. See that nice golden color? That's exactly what we want to see. And it might be hard to see on camera, but you'll also notice that the center of the bread starts to fluff up a bit as well. And that's because the eggs and that custard-like texture are cooking in the center as well. So delicious. You'll know the French toast is ready because it's going to be lightly browned on both sides and cooked through the center, which you're going to know again because you're going to have this spongy, bouncy texture to the bread. So I'll just gently remove this from the pan and then pop in the remaining 2 slices of toast. Now keep in mind that this recipe makes 2 servings. So it's 2 slices of French toast per serving, but you could easily scale this recipe up or down depending on how many people you want to feed. And side note, if you're feeding a bunch of people, you can keep the cooked slices warm right in the oven. Just turn it on to 200 degrees and put them in there as they cook. Once you're ready to serve your French toast, you can top it with whatever toppings you love or enjoy. Personally, I love an extra dollop of Greek yogurt, some fresh berries, and then a drizzle of maple syrup right over the top. So simple, so delicious, and absolutely that is delightful. So I am super excited for you to try this recipe. I would go so far as to argue that it is even more delicious than traditional French toast. And I'm very curious to see if you would agree. So if you know anybody else who's looking to make healthy eating easy and absolutely delicious, make sure you share this with them as well. And come on down to the comment section below and let me know what you think. Do you plan to give it a try? Did you try it already? I want to hear all the things. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Dani Spies, and I'll see you back here next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers!